Last episode ended with the party receiving a letter from their arch-nemesis, inviting them to her castle to have dinner and discuss the situation. The party began to consider the offer, however their discussion was cut short, because Sylsira's servant wasn't the only person who was able to track them down. They saw a shadowy figure in a dark cloak walk into the tavern, and he quickly drew a crossbow. Cartbox sends their regards. The assassin fired the crossbow, and Jay barely dodged out of the way in time. However, the Hellfire bolt ended up hitting a random different person sitting at a table behind Jay. The man immediately disintegrated, and soon there was just a pile of ash where he used to stand. However, Hellfire doesn't just kill a person, it destroys their very soul, and it looked like the assassin had more than one Hellfire bolt in his quiver. While the assassin was reloading his crossbow, the party sprinted to the tavern window and jumped out into the street. A brief chase ensued, but the party managed to escape from the assassin. However, they knew that it was only a matter of time until they were caught again. I've got an idea. What if we go to Blinsky's toys? Jay, I don't know if you've noticed, but we have an assassin after us. Now is not the time to go toy shopping. Exactly. Think about it. The assassin would never think to check a random toy store on the edge of the town. We can hide there and figure out our next move. That's actually a really good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Yay, we get to go to a toy store! The party traveled to the new and improved Blinsky's Toys. The last the party had seen of the original store, it had been a blazing inferno, consumed by dragonfire. However, after his death, Blinsky's son had taken up the business, and rebuilt the store even grander than before. Alright, now that we have a minute to relax, what should we do about Sylsira's letter? I think that she seems nice. We should go have tea with her. Literally every single interaction we've had has been her trying to murder or rob us. Yeah, but if we don't talk with her, then she'll never stop. Plus, if she is rude to us during the meal, we can kill her and turn her skull into a lantern. It's a win-win. I agree with Edith here. This is our best chance to make peace with our biggest enemy, which will give us more energy to focus on dealing with Cartbox. Now that the party had made their mind up, they wrote a letter to Sylsira where they agreed to meet with her on the 26th of April, and they gave it to Porkins. He had joined them after they failed the Cartbox task, so he was the best person to go out into the city to send the letter, while the rest of the party laid low in Blinsky's toys. Porkins managed to successfully make it to the local mail square and sent out the letter, but on the way back he ran into the assassin in the street. Where are your friends? The job didn't mention you at all, just the rest of your group. Give them up and I'll let you live. I'll never betray my friends, you monster! Alright, it's your funeral. The assassin then fired a Hellfire bolt at Porkins, but he was able to make a magical shield in the air in front of him just in time to block the shot. Porkins then turned and sprinted through the city. After a brief chase, Porkins fled into a random building after breaking line of sight with the assassin. Welcome to Zorish's mapping company. What would you like to buy? Yes, I came in here to buy stuff. Yup, I'll have, one of whatever it is that you want to sell me. Yeah. Perfect. I've got this map of Venzor for only 1,000 silver pieces if you've got the money. Porkins, not wanting to be rude, ended up buying the map of the island using up his entire share of the treasure that they'd found in the sunken temple 2 episodes ago. Then he began sneaking back to meet with the rest of the party. After another 20 minutes of travel, he successfully made it to Blinsky's toys without getting caught. While Porkins had been gone, the rest of the party had been looking around the store, but something had seemed off. They felt almost like the mascot of the store had been watching them, and out of the corner of their eye they could swear that it almost seemed like some of the toys were moving on their own. When Porkins returned to the store, Tenebris, Jay, and Edith were more than happy to leave the place. Together, the party journeyed out onto the road up towards Silverwick. Now that they were banned from Cartbox, they had to travel on foot. The first few days passed uneventfully. However, as they were nearing their destination, they suddenly heard a voice behind them.
"Wanna buy some magic items? I'm having a sale, everything's half off."
They weren't sure when he had joined them, but there was suddenly a dragonborn wearing a suit standing beside them on the road. Where did you come from?
Alright, you got me. Sale ended Tuesday.
What? Who are you?
The name's Kyle, and I'm the greatest magic merchant in the entire universe. I recently just picked up a new collection of invisible scrolls and screaming daggers if you want to take a look.
Actually, would you be willing to buy a magic item by any chance?
Of course. What type of magic item are we talking about here?
It's a jade sphere that, has a pit fiend trapped inside of it.
A pit fiend? How'd you get that? Wait, actually I don't want to know. I'll buy it for 20,000 silver.
Sold. The party quickly handed the jade sphere over to Kyle, and he gave them a bag full of coins in exchange.
Good doing business with you. I bet you 10 gold that I can convince someone to unleash this thing in the middle of a highly populated city. Heh, that'll be hilarious.
I'll take that bet. Wait, and he's gone. Why do I have a feeling that we might have just done something really bad? Look at how much money we have, though. Think of all the cool things we can buy with this. The party continued on their journey, and soon they arrived at the city of Silverwick. It was already the afternoon of the 26th, so they immediately began to ascend towards the top of the city, towards Sylsira's castle, over 500 feet above the ground floor of the city. In the air next to it, there was a floating airship that was docked on the side of the castle. The party was led in through the front gate of the castle, and soon they arrived in a large dining room. Sylsira was standing at one end of the room, and resting on the table in front of her was the knife that Edith had found back in the graveyard in episode 2, the one they had then sold to Lord Halamir in episode 10. It suddenly clicked in their head, the reason that Lord Halamir had gone missing, the reason that Sylsira had sent them the page from the broadsheets. She was showing that she was so powerful, she could order the death of someone in the Thief Lord's court and get away with it. The party knew then and there that this wasn't someone to be taken lightly. Hello there. I'm so happy that you could make it. I was getting worried there for a minute that you might have run into trouble on your way here. We did have some issues with Cartbox, but we'd never dare miss a meeting with you, Lady Sylsira. Of course, though that does actually bring me to the first thing I'd like to discuss. I have a few favors the Cartbox owes me, and I'm sure that I could pull one of them in and get you back into good standing with them. However, I would like something in return. I have some dead squirrels with me if you want those. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. There's a magic item that I want you to go out and collect for me. Once you acquire this item and return it to me, I'll make your Cartbox issue disappear. Sounds good to me. Where's this magic item? North of Dwalenden, there used to be a city named Redwater a few hundred years ago. My sources have given me reason to believe that Merlos, the Thief Lord of Venzor, had hidden an item within a secret room in the ruins of this city shortly before his disappearance, and I want you to go there and collect it. The item in question is named the Eye of Tarjan, and it looks like a small white crystal eye. Tenebris immediately recognized the name of this item. During his research into Merlos' mansion, he had heard that there were rumors that the mansion had perhaps been hidden through magical means. The Eye of Tarjan was the key to finding the mansion, because people suspected that it could be only found by whoever possessed this item. My head guard, Barumo, and some of my other soldiers can go with you on the road there, but you'll be on your own once you arrive. The party readily agreed to the deal, and made plans to travel out first thing in the morning. The party then left the dining room to go find somewhere to buy magic items, leaving Barumo and Sylsira alone. Do you really trust these mercenaries? Not in the slightest. However, we've seen what they've been able to do. They've defeated multiple remnant soldiers out on the lake without even losing a single member of their group. They are without a doubt our best shot of finding Merlos' mansion. though if they give even the slightest indication of betraying us, I want you to kill them all. Down in the lower sections of the city, the party was attempting to find someone to buy magic items from after they gotten all of the money from Kyle earlier in the day. How have we not managed to find a single magic merchant in this entire city so far? It's the biggest city in Venzor. There should be dozens of stores selling magic items. I've got an idea. Edith led the party back out of the city and into the nearby woods. Once they arrived, she reached into her bag and got out an old magical scroll that she had been holding on to for years. She activated the scroll, and appearing in front of the party was a small log cabin. This is the magic item shop of Old Man Yarick. He has the rarest magic items in the entire world. The party entered the store and started buying as much as they could. Most of the things they bought were runes to upgrade their weapons, along with a handful of small items that would come in handy later, but they did find one extremely rare item while there. It was named Merlos' skeleton key, and according to Old Man Yarick, it used to belong to the Thief Lord himself, and it should be able to work on any lock that has ever been made. Once the party had spent all of their money at the store, they headed back to Silverwick and slept through the night at a local tavern. The next morning they met with Barumo and began their journey towards the ruins of Redwater, not knowing that it would be their final adventure together.